How public school art is affected by government legislation. In 2002, President George W. Bush signed the No Child Left Behind Act of 2001. Its main purpose was to develop a set standard for grade-level achievement and to develop a system to measure the progress of all students in meeting those state-determined grade-level standards. Yearly standardized tests are the main factor that determines whether a school is meeting their set standards. Although it is a federal program, each individual state decides on their own standards. If the standards are not met, the school has 2 years to improve or face decreased funding and other punishments that contribute to the increased accountability. If the school fails to meet their public standards 2 years in a row, then eligible children can opt out and transfer to another higher-performing public or charter school. Public schools are the primary educational delivery system in the United States. Yet these tests do not measure anything that helps educators close the gap, nor do they reveal circumstances that are beyond the teacher's control that can affect the outcome of tests. Then that raises the question about how do you test for art-related knowledge and skills? The tests don't measure these, and that's why since 2007, almost 71% of schools have reduced some instruction time in subjects such as history, arts, language arts, and music in order to give more time and resources to mathematics and English. The tests don't test those subjects, therefore schools have no incentives to fund them properly or to give them school time. That's why, in the face of budget cuts, schools are feeling pressure to shift resources from the arts to reading and math. Therefore, many art programs and teachers are getting cut. Art programs remain in many schools, but individual students who are not proficient in basic skills are sent to remedial reading or mathematics classes rather than arts, sports, or other optional subjects. That means we are robbing certain students of these extracurricular activities. These students might enjoy the arts or sports they are missing to spend extra time doing classes they aren't so fond of. That makes the school experience more daunting for them because it's all work and no play. This has affected the dropout rate as well. Arts help teach that there can be many different answers and solutions to one problem. They encourage multiple perspectives, and they say that all we can learn isn't just contained in books. They teach students how to think through and within a material, and arts have the power to control and influence emotions. They also teach how to think creatively, which is something employers now want in the current job market. They don't need employees who all think the same with a standardized mind, but rather ones who are creative and can think outside the box. But still, art educational instruction time has decreased by 16% since the reinception of No Child Left Behind. In lower-performing schools, which are usually populated by low-income students and students of color, an even greater amount of time is devoted to test-taking strategy, which also might be related to why ethnic students have a higher dropout rate. One way schools are trying to make the most out of what little time they allot to arts is to make the art teachers integrate the other courses within their own classes. Then in 2009, President Obama established the Race to the Top, sustain educational reform. The program is asking states to adopt standards and assessments that prepare students to succeed in college and the workplace and to compete in the global economy. Recruiting, developing, and rewarding and retaining effective teachers and principals, especially where they are needed the most, and turning around our lowest achieving schools. To build data systems that measure students' growth and success and inform teachers and principals how they can improve instruction. Then, the government rewards the top achieving schools with grants. This practice only encourages teaching to the test methods and reiterates the fact that they only need to teach what is on the test and subjects that will be tested to be successful as a school to get funding. So it seems as though standardized testing is pushing arts right out of schools. Yet the visual arts remain an essential element to a high-quality, highly effective, and balanced education. Humans have an innate need to create things. After all, ever since the cavemen painted on cave walls, we haven't stopped creating. Therefore, taking art out of our schools is robbing our children out of learning how to be creative. Multiple studies prove that learning the arts enhances learning in other subject areas as well, not just the creative fields. For example, learning how to read sheet music is supposed to improve your math skills. Skills taught in individual art disciplines such as visual arts, dance, music, and drama provide students with unique opportunities to work collaboratively, to develop creative and critical thinking skills, to solve problems and develop innovative solutions. It also allows them to become an individual, learning what appeals to them and what makes them special. Some states have taken the arts into their own hands. New York State developed Art Counts, which builds on the blueprint for teaching and learning in the arts. which provides common benchmarks and curriculum goals for dance, music, theater, and visual arts. Art Counts determines a minimum time that should be spent in the art class and holds principals responsible. It also establishes the first ever accountability for arts programming, marking the importance of arts to a student's overall education. In conclusion, we need arts in our schools, and we need to fight to keep them in, because they're a very important part of a balanced education.